Evening, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Got some more information for you here today. We have been carpet bombed with information for the last several days, actually, the last 4 days, with the executive orders, with the firing of all the DEI woke people in the government. So many things have happened on the international level. Trump is bargaining for things like Panama Canal with Marco Rubio and talking about making a deal for Greenland with the Danish with ultimatums, which is happening, started happening as of last week. That is still in process. But Trump is doing so many things, including exposing the RFK, JFK, and MLK files. That was yesterday, dropping that information. Wonderful, wonderful bit of information coming out just to find out that our government was involved in all three of these situations. I haven't read the stuff, but I've heard tidbits of it, and that's what it seems like the conclusion of the whole situation is. That's why they've been put under wraps. It's because our government's always involved. Now, there's so many other things I can't even begin to tell you all the wonderful things that's going on in this country right now, including the fact that the deportations have started. Ay, ay, ay. I love it. I love it. I'm so ready for this. Matter of fact, I got a couple short, or actually a couple pictures and a couple clips to bring to y'all today involving updates on the border. First, Trump decided he was going to go to California and North Carolina. He's going to North Carolina first to check out the flood situation that happened a month or so ago. And now or actually several months ago. And then he's going to go to California probably to put Gavin Newsom in a headlock, hopefully, and tell him he needs to get his shit straight if he wants any money coming from the federal government involving his involving rebuilding and the fires and things. Gavin Newsom's going to have to learn to do his job, or he is not going to get federal funds as a bailout for not doing his job, and that's what I see coming. And I'm glad to hear that. But let's go ahead and get into this first clip. This is Trump speaking. He spoke several times today. Once getting on the plane, once getting off the plane, I think once getting on the plane, had a press conference, and then he ends up talking to the people in front of in North Carolina. And I think that's where we're at this point. I don't think he's actually been to California yet, landed there yet. Still in process at this point. Time of day, it's about 3 o'clock here, a little after 3 o'clock. But at any rate, see a bright light. I got spotlight coming in from the other room, actually from the window. But let's go ahead and listen to what Trump said about riding on the plane with pencil neck Adam Schiff. I thought this was interesting.
I was told the Schiff was going to travel with us to California. I wasn't thrilled, to be honest with you. And I saw him last night on television. It looks like he got hit with a baseball bat or something. What happened to him? Something happened to him.
Oh,
It looked like he got hit. It looked like he got beat around. But I'll ask Caroline to find out what happened to him. No, if he wanted to come out, I would have done that. But I don't know. Somebody said that he wanted to come on the plane, but I think he's staying back for the votes. There's some pretty good votes going on. Yeah.
Adam Schiff needs to just go on and go to California. That way, we don't need him as any of these votes. We got confirmation hearings coming up over the next couple of days, and hopefully, the less Democrats there, the better. Considering they're not going to vote for our guys. I have heard that the head test will probably be confirmed by a narrow margin. Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, and probably Mitch McConnell will be the holdout at this point. That's what we're believing. But definitely, we got to look into Adam Schiff. Uh, Biden didn't pardon himself, and there'll be some looking into that. There's so many things, folks, that are just in the work, fixing to start getting going. Our Trump is in the process of securing trillions of dollars, at least $1.5 trillion in finance in investments in our country in just the last couple of days. This is amazing just to see how far we've come in just 4 short days. Someone said he has done more in 4 days than Reagan did in 8 years. And I believe it. I've been trying to keep up with everything that has happened the last 4 days, from executive orders to Just all the wins that we've been getting with all the details I've been telling you about. And I can't even scratch the surface on how many things that I have yet to talk to y'all about that was actually another thing good for the country. We got out of the EU's deal where we were paying them way too much taxes. He did that with 2 executive orders. He's out of the Paris Climate Accord, which is awesome. We don't need to even be involved in that. He told the World Health Organization to go kick rocks. He went to he had a Zoom call with Davos, took questions, and told them folks, no, America's back, and we're not doing the whole censorship game. Now, been talked about these people like Fauci and Adam Schiff and stuff. There's even though a lot of them have been pardoned, there's still the option to go about getting them through civil situations or through state charges. And these people have actually almost took like a guilty plea when they were pardoned, and so these people will be forced to answer questions before Congress with subpoenas, and maybe even before court of law, depending on who and what the situation is. Now we got Trump speaking at the in North Carolina already. Let's go ahead and get into that.
You know, you work for government. We took some off other people too. But you can't have a security detail for the rest of your life because you work for government. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
He not only knocked out a bunch of people's security clearances and been doing more and more every day, but he's now taking away people's private security detail, which is like Secret Service detail, like Fauci had. Fauci had probably as much Service detail as Trump because he requested, because he was having people that weren't happy with his progress. Next thing you know, he's basically got government funded private security or Secret Service. Either way, it's a scam, and I'm glad to see Trump has no remorse in saying he can afford his own security. They all can.
Would you feel partially responsible if something were to happen to, say, Dr. Fauci or John Bolton?
No.
Do you feel responsible if something happens to him? No, ain't my problem.
You know, they all made a lot of money. They can hire their own security, too. All the people you're talking about, they can go out. I can give them some good numbers of very good security people. They can hire their own security. They all made a lot of money. Fauci made a lot of money. They all did. So if they, felt that strongly, I think that certainly I would not take responsibility.
I just thought I'd bring y'all that, folks. I hope Fauci's going to jail. I'll be honest with you, folks. I'm enjoying this country getting back in good shape, our economy getting back in order, the people being deported. I am loving all of it. I'm loving that we have hope again for our country. I'm glad to see new markets being created with the AI and the crypto. Trump's going to basically build a bigger infrastructure with more things involved than just our normal infrastructure. We're going to have a bigger cyber infrastructure due to a conglomeration of a lot of the tech giants. And a lot of people are skeptical of that. And I am too, because it's all about, I'm guessing, data mining or storing your personal information. But I think eventually we're going to need to do that in order to do like gene sequencing and things. But that's another story altogether. But let's go ahead and get back into it. Now, we've been watching them slow roll. We've got 2 or 3 people confirmed in 13 days. And the Democrats are just, between the FBI not releasing the vetting process files and the Democrats slow walking things right now, we are literally, like I said, 13 days in, and we've got 2 or 3 people confirmed. But as of today, the FBI is done with their background check on Kash Patel, and his confirmation hearing will start next week. I mean, they'll be interrogating Kash Patel starting next week in the Senate. Glad to see it. Which should have happened already, but that's good news, folks. Hopefully, we'll get them all confirmed about the same time. That would be great. But it's going to take a month at the rate the Democrats are going, just to be honest. Now, Mike Johnson had something to say about Biden's pardons and Biden not actually having his own pardon. I thought this was quite interesting.
Here's Speaker Mike Johnson addressing that concern. Listen to this.
President Biden did on the way out pardoning his family for more than a decade of whatever activity, any nonviolent offenses. It was breathtaking to us. I don't think that's anything like that's ever been anticipated. And by the way, go look at the tape, 4 years ago, when it was just implied that President Trump might do something similar. They were apoplectic. Joe Biden himself, Adam Schiff, Chuck Schumer, roll the tape. They all said that would be crazy and unconscionable, and now they're cheering it along. To us, it is disgusting. To us, it probably proves the point, the suspicion
Yep.
that, they call it the Biden crime family. If they weren't the crime family, why do they need pardons, right? Look, there's a lot of attention that's going to be paid to this, and I think that is appropriate, and we will be looking at it as well.
Y'all catch that? And we will be looking at it as well. It'd be pretty easy to hem Biden up on some charges. Just bring his son in and have him answer some questions. Bring in some of the people like Bob Alinsky who are willing to testify. Joe is 10% for the big guy. It could be a pretty open shut case. They can go that way. They can go tax evasion. They could go not registering as a foreign agent. They could go a dozen directions to get Biden. Probably get him for kid sniffing if they tried hard enough. We got lots of proof of that. I hate to think of what all the real crimes that he's done that we'll never find out about. These people are sick. This entire family is just some warped individuals. Matter of fact, I've got a picture for you here in a little bit. I'm going to show you a little further down the line of just the whole crew of cretins. Now, this is huge news, folks. The DOJ is directing all 93 U.S. attorney offices across the country to prosecute any state or local actor who interferes in federal law enforcement regarding immigration and all Trump directives. Meaning, if the mayor decides he wants to try to pull some shenanigans to prevent maybe the migrants being apprehended, or even a local jail not cooperating, they can now be prosecuted at any level. Let me read that again. I'll just let her play it. I'll just let her say it for you. This is good news, folks.
Kind of go after local officials who get in the way of President Trump's immigration orders.
It's a pretty significant directive, the fact that DOJ is directing all 93 U.S. attorneys' offices across the country to investigate and possibly prosecute any state or local actor who interferes in federal law enforcement, enforcing the laws on the books, and not just enforcing immigration law, but any requests from the federal government or the likes.
State and local actor.
So think about what that could mean. And what's especially interesting about the directive is that if an office declines to prosecute, say, an actor or a state official who is resisting what the Trump administration is doing, they actually have to put it in writing in an urgent memo that goes straight to the AG and the Deputy Attorney General himself. So we'll see how it goes, but it's certainly a significant move.
That's nice. Did y'all hear that, Democrats? Don't be trying no shenanigans, especially if you're a politician, city councilman, NGO activist, anybody that's somehow tied into facilitating these people into the country. Well, this here, folks, is some of the best news I've seen all day, and it is people being loaded up on either C-5s or C-130s, huge cargo planes. They've been rounded up over the last couple of days with Tom Homan and the ICE, and we now have 2 flights of these cargo planes flown back to Guatemala. Guatemala receives migrants deported from the U.S. That's actually landed in Guatemala. I love it. I love it. I wanted to see this happen. Now, what they do with them from here, not our problem. But they were actually escorted on the planes, I guess, from their El Paso detention center. It was El Paso and somewhere else. I forget. There was a couple of locations where they brought these people from. So just as he has promised, President Trump is sending a strong message to the world Who those who enter the United States illegally will face serious consequences. Promises made, promises kept. Deportation flights have begun, says the White House press page on Twitter. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I actually work around them big cargo planes and big gray cargo planes most every day. I'm around a couple of them out on the airfield somewhere. I'm not working on them directly, but it's pretty interesting to see how big these planes get. I mean, they got them in all shapes and sizes, depending on how much cargo they can carry. But I'm glad to see they're carrying that cargo back to where it belongs. Way to go, way to go. All right, folks, we got the great Stephen Miller here dropping bombs the way I like it.
There's no sanctuary for criminal aliens in this country, nor is there a sanctuary for child trafficking, for child smuggling, or for child endangerment. ICE officers will take the actions necessary to protect the lives and safety of our children and to identify individuals who are involved in the smuggling and trafficking of our children. In order to conduct these investigations, in order to protect the safety and security of children all across America, federal law enforcement needs unrestricted access to conduct basic investigations. 500,000 children were trafficked into this country under Joe Biden. That is a stain on our national conscience. It's a stain on our history. It's ending now. And the Department of Justice, working with the Department of Homeland Security, is going to prioritize the end of human trafficking, the end of human smuggling, and the entire machinery of government is going to be used to stop the cartels, to stop the coyotes, to stop the traffickers, to stop the smugglers from preying on our citizens and exploiting our country. We are not going to be trammeled anymore. We're not going to be trampled anymore. We're certainly not going to be abused and violated anymore. We're going to be a free country again, Martha.
DOJ, Department of Homeland Security, and the Department of Defense, with all the resources of the military, including their planes and things to get these people out of here, have all been mobile, including the Coast Guard, have all been mobilized to get this going. This is going to happen fast, folks. It's going to be a never-ending deal, but for 4 years, it's going to get more ramped up and more ramped up and more ramped up. You wait and see. It's going to take thousands of officers, thousands of agents, uh, maybe thousands of flights, but we're going to get it done, folks. We got 2 down. How many more to go? Who can say? But 20 more million people to go, as far as I'm concerned. But I'm just glad to see it. Warms my heart, folks. Sorry to see you go, but bye. No, not sorry to see you go. Now, Marco Rubio has been down to Panama to do some negotiations, but more than that, I want to tell you what he put out here. It says Marco Rubio on his new foreign policy as the Secretary of State demands immediate halt to virtually all U.S. foreign aid, meaning we're not sending every country in the world humanitarian aid, which in a lot of cases is a scam or is a money laundering scheme for the Democrat Party, which proved to be a fact in a lot of cases. And it will slow down on the human trafficking with the influx of the migrants and a lot of things. As soon as humanitarian aid stops, a lot of things will change immediately. So, Secretary of State freezes contracts around the world, fulfilling executive order from Donald Trump. I love it. I love it. This is actually going to save us a ton of money. It's going to sever ties between us having to be hand in hand with countries and organizations that we don't want to be in hand with, including feeding the terrorists. Uh, there's so many things that we give out. We give humanitarian aid to Iran. I mean, I'm glad to see all that stuff going by the wayside. Now, there's some people that probably do need some humanitarian aid, but at one point, you got to learn to feed yourself, and that's just the facts. Now, this is somebody I think's got a great channel, listener of mine as well. Gigi, the backyard herbalist, on her main, I guess her what you call it, her profile. She has a great quote. says and I believe this is Hamilton, says whenever any form of government becomes destructive to these ends of life, to the end of life. Let me scroll down here. It says whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, it is the right of the people to alter or abolish it and to institute a new government. And that's exactly what's going on right now in the country right now. We have picked another president than the last one was a creep. We got us another president in there. We got Trump in there for the second time, and we are literally taking our country back one executive order at a time. Some of these things are going to have to be turned into laws to make them permanent, and just so many things are happening. And I do believe it is like this meme I'm fixing to show you. It is like a storm just to watch how so much is happening so fast. How one executive order can rescind 83 of Biden's executive orders. Just stuff like that. We're going to win this one, folks. We have got 4 days in, and we are doing great as far as progress goes. I can't imagine what it's going to be like in 4 years from now. Also, before I forget, I want to tell you this. I forget which senator it is, but one of the senators, or one of the House of Representative members today, put out a motion on the floor to try to see about amending the 22nd Amendment so Trump could possibly take a third term, where you could have possibly 3 terms, but no more than 2 consecutive. If they get that in there, it could be Trump 2028, folks. It's a thought. It's definitely going to be worked out. I don't know if it's going to go through or not, but it is definitely in talks. And after we get through 4 years of prosperity under Trump, we may find a way to get that done just because of the country demands it. Now, this has got to be the greatest meme I have seen all day long. Too good, folks. Check it out. I love it. I love it. Ain't that about the truth? That's the way it feels like all week here. Oh, I got that bright light in my face. Sorry about that, folks. Sun's coming around, I guess. Yeah, I don't get tired of that meme. He's back, and it's about time. I love it. I love it. Like, subscribe, and share. To Vote Patriots. Hopefully, everybody had a great day.